don't hurt your heart out of Luke chapter 5, 1 through 11. Don't hurt your heart. Bring that teach back one more time. Just wanted to encourage you to allow the process and the challenges that you've been through to be a catapult to where God is elevating you to. And those are the raw materials, the essential elements that God is using to shape you. We done been through some things, but now it's time to take what has seemed to be a bad investment and to replant it and watch how it grows. You know how? You know why I'm talking about this? Where Peter, he had just came, him and the team was out on the lake fishing. Jesus scenery. He's teaching to some people. We get in Peter's boat, and then he eventually tells them to go back out into the water. Well, they had been out all night. Peter's like, "Hey, I've been out all night, but because you said so, Lord, I'm gonna go back." But a lot of times we are struggling with that very thing. Now, if we really think about it, like, what is the difficulty that Peter is raising? He's putting in work. Him and the team that's put in work. Him and the team grinded it out. Him and the team was going forth to be successful, and they didn't. The outcome of success had happened. We don't know where they're at, and they're striving to feed and to produce what could be potentially income, fish that they could sell in the market, or just having a meal for the evening. And what an impact. Say if it's just for the market at a time, then who's suffering? Who don't, among the supply chain, those who cook and sell fish. Now they have a limited supply. And so it's going to affect the economy. Those who do other aspects, if they're doing the hauling and they get it from Peter for a certain price, whatever the case may be, those who are in the making the net business so other fishers can fish. How often is this going on? Now, we do see that this is basically generally centered in on one night. Well, do their children, what children are not eating that night? Who's suffering? What wives? What sons? What neighbors? What could have been the outcome and the effect of them not having any food to eat by them being unsuccessful? Blessings, being unsuccessful as they fished, and then they're being directed to go back out into the sea and continue fishing some more. And that reminds me of times where, we're being guided. God and what he's doing is putting us back into places that would remind us of the pain and the challenge that we experienced. And who wants to double back into places where, go amongst them again, or go amongst this type of environment? Well, this environment did me bad. It's hard for me to trust the people there. It's hard for me to trust the leadership there. It's hard for me to trust that the relationship could be any fruitful in this season, because when I was in that experience with it, it demolished me. It ripped me apart. And you're telling me to go back and get involved with that? Why? What type of sense does this make? I came up empty. You came up with nothing. You now are worse than where you were when you started out. You're broken inside. Now you're carrying the weight of regret, the weight of failure, the weight of disappointment. And the Lord is like, no, go back into that. So Peter and them, they done fished all night, and now you're telling me to go right back into that where I was unsuccessful. I worked hard. My body is tired. Can you can relate. You're trying something so hard to get, and the mental weight and anguish and exhaustion you get because now you didn't receive that in which you went to seek after. You've been dating this person for I don't know how long. You've been wanting it to work. You've been putting in your all. You've had some good success. Peter and them were excellent at fishing, as we would assume. So you're having these abilities in this journey with it. You're striving in career ladder. You're putting in the work to get the favor for the next position. You're working hard. You're dotting all I's and crossing all T's only to come up short. You're growing in your faith. You're walking in more obedience. But come on, we human. We got problems. And then I make one mistake, or let's say put it like this, a bad decision, and it destroys, it just rips apart that in which I was getting favor from the Lord for being obedient in. And now you're telling me to go back in there, go over there, go with them, go to that. I don't want to go, Lord. Why? This hurts. I don't see any positive results coming up out of this. And so he's telling Peter, go back in the water. And I just want to tell you tonight, and maybe a couple more times in the nights ahead, don't hurt your hurt. This is rewind, bring that preach back. If you didn't catch the Sunday, I had a blessed opportunity to preach at Connection Church. My guy, a mentor of mine, Bishop Rogers, right? And so they're telling, and so what God is trying to tell you and I, don't hurt our heart, because in God's interwoven intricacy, meticulous, lofty, sit high, unfathomable plan at times is the place where he's going to build you at. Now let's just look at it, for instance, like as to what's happening. He's sending them into a water. They're in a body of water to go fishing. And the area in that body of water that they're going to fish at has them coming up blank, coming up short, coming up with Nathan. And you're going to tell me to go back into the same body of water. But the whole time in the body of water was complete abundance. So much fish that we will see later as the story goes on that they caught, that their boats began to sink because it was so much. So, I want to raise that point that don't hurt your heart, because you and I can be in a position, placed in an area of abundance. And then as we're going to strive, going to seek, going to elevate in it, we can come up blank. We can end up with nothing, while all the whole time the abundance was right there and accessible. But that's why, if we damage or hurt, don't hurt your hurt. Peter and them hurt. You can be hurt by going and striving for things and it don't work. And so now you and I, what we'll begin to do is read the past season or hurt into the new season, right? So it ain't that friends are bad. It's that I may have had a bad experience. Now it's abundance in quality relationships. But I had one, you had one, you had another, I had another, and now I'm a big old brick wall builder. Now I'm one who would just hold up wall and won't let nobody in to experience me, and I will block my own blessing from experiencing it. I let one employer make me think that I wasn't qualified, and so when it's time for now to go for the next, what's up, bro? What's up? Now it's time for me to go for the next opportunity. I'm reading in what somebody who could not see the greatness in me, I'm going to read that into somebody else. In a minute, it just seems like they are not going to give me the opportunity. I bail out. And not only do I bail out, not only you bail out, now I got to run somewhere and get me some delicacies that once I felt comforted me in the last season. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? I'm going to go ahead and get some top shelf. I'm going to go ahead and get something right to stimulate the mind that ain't right. I'm going to go ahead and do these acts. I'm going to go ahead and buy me something to stimulate feeling good. And now I'm in a whole nother pattern, while all along, if I was just allow the Lord to take me to the process, that abundance does exist, that there are quality relationships, there are quality people in ministry who would help me grow and want to, there are quality people and employers who will see the best in me, there are quality educational systems, there are quality aspects, right? Like you get out of parenting, you can get out of your spouse, all of these things, but now we can fall short and deny the move of God in our lives that'll say, go back, go again, keep trying. And we'll fall short by reading our failure, our disappointment. Will fall short by bringing something that was in a former season, another relationship, something that absolutely positively don't have nothing to do with the body of abundance that we're happening to had experienced. right? But we ended up short at trying, right? So sometimes you and I, we got to rewrite the business plan. Sometimes we got to do a self-reflection and say, okay, in my own capability, I messed that up. But hey, what'll happen if I just put God's mind into this? If I go ahead and factor in the fact that He knows what I don't know, right? Or factor in that in the kingdom there are people who have the forward thinking, people who have the qualifications that if I could just link with them and they want to link with me, they can have what I do not have in order that, wow, I'm applying myself to developing this. I'm applying myself to better myself in this relationship. I'm applying myself, whatever, in these healthy habits. They have the knowledge, the abundance is there, right? And so we got to stop reading things into another context, or even if we got to go back into the water again, don't hurt your hurt. And why do I keep saying that statement, don't hurt your hurt? It's because we can misuse our pain. No, I ain't talking to me. I should have seen a couple like buttons went up. Y'all ain't want to talk to me. We can misuse our pain. What are you talking about, misuse your pain? Pain hurt, Charles. Pain don't feel good, Charles. Pain has led me down some despicable actions that came out of me. Pain has made me anger. Pain has had me pick up addictions. Pain has had me walk around with hopelessness and depression. You're telling me don't hurt that? I don't want to even think about those things no more. Don't hurt your heart. Why? Because it's just trusting God's plan says, I'm going to go back in that water, that He's more qualified to know more about the situation than I am. I'm going to trust in the Lord. With Proverbs 3:5, it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not to your own understanding, in all thy ways, acknowledge Him, and He shall direct your paths. Right? Psalm 119, you be a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Can I qualify what I'm saying with scripture verses that connect this? Right? Right? And so we are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, right? God has factored you into the equation of success, but our perspective of it has to be different. Our perspective of it got to let us know that while He all knowing, He telling me to go back into a situation that don't seem like it's going to produce anything, but He knows what I don't know. So what I'm saying is, don't hurt your heart. What does that mean? Is that in those seasons of tears shedding, in those seasons of the body groans you had and your spirit was racked up and messed up, is the very resilience God is going to pull out of you, the very thing for you to understand strategy and insight. He's giving you stick-to-itiveness. He's growing you in the classroom of being a go-getter. He's growing you and I in the classroom of grit. He's growing you in the classroom. A good man falls 7 times and then get up. A good man falls 7 times and then get up. He's growing you in the classroom of repetition. Oh, I used to ball, right? You see, I got to bam. And so, but I shot 250 jumpers a day to get to that, right? You see Steph Curry come out, he do the same little funny little routine. Every time you see him before the game, they flash it on. Building repetition and muscle memory. Are we willing to go out? Because guess what, Peter? If I don't teach you, and this is something we talk about to our kids and stuff. If I do not teach you that if first you don't succeed, try again in me. If I don't teach you that, you will now begin to read and have a false entitlement expectation that the minute you put your net into the sea that you're supposed to pick something up and grab it, because there's been other times just by a drop of the net you just was free, you came up, you've been rolling good. But let me tell you how to build you up in the midst of when it don't go right. How that no right is there. The abundance of this lake has enough fish that both boats, you and your guys' boats, they're going to sink to the ground because you got too much of it. When although you was out all night and y'all caught Nathan. So I just wanted to encourage you, don't hurt your heart, because within that, you're getting skills of stick-to-itiveness. You're getting skills of being knowing how to best learn and submit to someone else's wisdom who wants you to win. You're getting guidance and you're getting direction, and you're learning how to not be discouraged when at first you tried and then you ended up blank. You're learning, unlearning these things. But if we allow our hurt to remain, if we hurt our hurt, we will just give up and not achieve and not receive that in which is actually sitting right there for us to get. It just took a little shifting. I'm going to go over to that area. Go in that area of joy. Oh my. Go in that area of peace. Oh wow. Go into that area of a greater press and prayer to the word. Oh my. Go into that area of I'm going to study a little bit better. Oh, go in that area that I'm going to be still and know God. Because in that area of going to the deep was all of the abundance that Peter desired to, and his team desired to experience. They were in a different area. But just because they wasn't they didn't hit the first area the right way, right, didn't mean that the abundance that they were seeking didn't exist. It existed the whole time. And you and I could be in a place of abundance and end up with Nathan. But we got to let the Christ send us back. And we got to go in with his confidence knowing that, you know what, I ain't even got to believe it. But if you, Lord, believe it, then it is already so. Now I got to believe in you, but even if I'm weary enough to be like, man, I don't even know it's there. But since the Lord has directed me there, I put my hope, my reliance in him, and I'm just going to go out there and then kaboom, all of our wanted. I'm Bishop Charles, Christian Life Ministry. Consider joining us on Sundays at 11:30. We're located at 455 East 200th Street. Just continue to pray for us. We got some great projects going on now. You want to know more about it, please just direct message me or type in the thread. How can I get involved? We want to get you involved. We're a forward moving ministry. I'm the bishop for the youth. Bring me them babies. Bring me them young folks. Bring me them young adults. This is what I do. Is what the Lord has put on my life for 18 years. And I want to just continue to serve in that manner. God bless you. Have a good evening. Take care.